Ty, thank you for spending some time with me today. How you doing?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Not bad, not bad. I've been having a lot of fun with NBC's American Auto.
Oh man, thank you. I appreciate that.
Just give us a little bit of a rundown on what Justin Spitzer has created here, because he's obviously worked on such shows like The Office, Superstore, and things that are very beloved to people. And now he's taking his talents over to the auto industry. Tell us a little bit about it.
It's you kind of set me up very nicely. I'm gonna say it's a workplace comedy set in the automotive industry in Detroit, which I happen to be from. So um, and it's just is in The Office and in Superstore, we kind of saw the I guess the lower tiered workers, and now we're seeing the C-suite, the people that are making the decisions that impact the lower tier workers. And we see that they're not as capable or intelligent or anything functionally able to run a company the way you think they should be able to. So we're getting a glimpse into that world, into that suite, to the C-suite, and then all the crazy antics that go along with it, and the split decisions, and it's constant chaos. That's the best way I can describe the show. It's just constant chaos every episode.
So you talk about characters and people in power that maybe aren't as capable, but in episode 1 we meet Jack, who is working on the plant floor, and by, I guess, default you would think maybe he's the least capable, but in fact he's not. Tell us a little bit about Jack.
Oh man, Jack is Everyman. Like I drew a lot of inspirations from. I have family members that work in the automotive industry. They worked on the line. Grandfather worked on the line for like basically his whole life. Jack is the guy that knows more about cars than everybody on the show, except for maybe Cyrus, who's actually a very capable engineer. But the other people, Wesley's scared. He's just in there because he's a lineage. His family, his last name is Payne, and it's Payne Automotives. So, and Catherine is coming from pharmaceuticals. So those are two people that are clearly not capable of making these decisions, but they're probably the two most impactful people in the C-suite level. So yeah, it's just Jack is very capable. He's and that's, I think, as we learn on more and more about him, hopefully we get more and more seasons, that he's really intelligent, and he's not only a worker.
It's interesting you mentioned that he's kind of the everyman, because we've seen some of these situations that we see in the show in real life, and how they play out, and we often kind of for lack of a better term, Monday morning quarterback on the way we would handle it. And I think that's kind of Jack's voice, kind of like you're saying.
Yeah, very much so. He sees the decisions that others are making, and he's perplexed a lot of the times. Like, this is what goes on. And one of the episodes, the locking pause. We have malfunctioning locking pause, so we're thinking they're actually putting the value of a life and deciding if it's worth doing a recall or if it's worth just letting it roll because we're going to get lawsuits. So he's actually in the room of these decisions, and he's looking around and saying, wow, these are the people making the decisions for basically lives at stake. So Jack is just a great character, man. Great character. And you kind of he's the glimpse. He's what I like to think of as the viewer's glimpse into the C-suite.
Speaking of that episode in particular, I love your dynamic with Michael Benjamin Washington, aka Cyrus, because he gets kind of jealous that you sometimes steal a spotlight, despite, like you even mentioned, his knowledge.
Yeah, man. Michael, first and foremost, Michael is funny as all hell. The shade that his character Cyrus gives in every episode, and some of the choices people are making. So he's literally in that episode. He cut the car cost all the way down, and I come up with the last little inch, and everybody chanting my name. So he's just. It's funny to see that, like, wow, really, you guys are going to celebrate this man after all the work I did, and I get nothing. So he was so funny in that episode.
Kind of continuing with workplace relationships, and how rumors get started, and things kind of start blowing up out of proportion. That's also an episode of where you might be going on a date soon, and all eyes are on Sadie. Tell me about working with Harriet Dyer, and kind of having that kind of workplace vibe that sometimes people try to avoid, or sometimes try to keep hidden.
Well, working with Harry is just amazing. She's funny. She's so genuine, so giving on the screen. Knowledgeable too. She's just a pleasure all around to work with. And just the dynamic that we had. We didn't really know. We didn't really screen test together. We didn't do anything like that. So we weren't sure how our relationship would play out on screen. And seeing it now, there is chemistry there, and we found that people are rooting for us or want to see what'll develop within our relationship. But I think it's she's just great to work off with, and I'm glad we have some, people actually are invested in some level and to see where our story goes. The last thing you want is for people not to care.
Mhm.
Either you want them together or you don't want them together, but the last thing you want is people to be like, I don't care, because then they just turn off the TV or change the channel. So yeah.
What is it what is it like shooting that show? Do you guys sometimes maybe go off script a little bit to vibe off of each other, or what is the process to getting some of those really funny moments on screen?
Well, we have so much fun shooting. Our job is literally to make each other laugh, so we come in every day with that energy, and it's just a joy to have that. So when we get an opportunity to play a little bit, but first and foremost, the scripts are so tight. We got 22 minutes to get everything in, and so many of our episodes have cut so many scenes just because we haven't been able to squeeze everything in. But Justin Spitzer allows us and gives us the space to play and create things and go with improv in the moment. But ultimately, the script is so well written that most of our improv will probably end up being in extended cuts or director cuts, or because it's so many things that he just writes jokes in, and I'm not going to take credit for any of it. Like, he literally is that brilliant that he has thought about all these different lanes and all these different ways to play jokes. The writer's room in general. So yes, they give us space to play, but most of those jokes they're on the page, and we just got to bring them to life.
Yeah, he definitely has that resume with all the shows that he's worked on before to say, yeah, he's probably a really funny guy.
Yeah, yeah.
So earlier you mentioned about your upbringing. You grew up in Detroit near the auto industry. You had family that worked on the line. Tell me how that kind of played a role with the show, and also maybe some of the things, some memories maybe that it brought back to you that made it a little bit more personal.
Well, I'll say when I was actually doing the screen test on my way out, one of the producers asked me from NBC, Tye, where you from? And I just said, well, I'm Detroit. And they were like, of course you would be. So in that moment, I think that was like the tip, like, oh yeah, we're gonna go with Tye because he has, like, it's authentic to him. So it brings back so many memories. Not that my character spent that much time on the actual line in the first season, or we got a quick glimpse into like what his world was like pre the show, but I'm hoping we revisit it on some level as well too. But it just brought back a lot of memories because, like I said, I had family there that worked on the line, and they're so proud, and so, like, Detroit people are so proud and pride in Detroit. So having a show that is set in Detroit, that is rooted in basic our whole economic structure, and having somebody that's from Detroit on the show, it just makes everybody proud, and it brings back more memories for them than me because I actually never worked on the line, but it's just nice to have that to kind of tie it all together.
As you record and do more episodes and you get to know Tye a little bit better, what is something that maybe has stood out to you about him that you're really enjoying?
About myself or about
Tye?
Oh, as I record more, something that stood out about myself more. I don't know, man. Like, that's a tough question. I'm like, what do I like? I mean, I like watching myself. I don't really like watching myself. I'll watch the show, but I won't really watch scenes and judge my performance. It's just weird to me, man. Like, to sit up there and just watch myself. So I kind of like one of those people that like do the work and then throw it away and walk away from it. I'm not gonna sit up there and like I said, Monday morning quarterback and sit there and watch a show that I shot 6 months ago and watch it like, oh yeah, I don't know. Like, that's not the way that it actually works for me. I just kind of like, I'll see it in passing, like, oh God, no, and then just like walk away. So I just don't like to look at myself on screen like that. So I don't.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate my own voice too, so I completely
It's
understand.
weird. It really is weird watching yourself and hearing yourself. You're just like, oh yeah, do I sound like that? Oh, why does my voice go up like that? So yeah, no.
And I apologize because I actually said your name instead of actually Jack, which I meant to say was, was your takeaways from Jack and not
Oh yeah,
not
that's all I was like
yourself.
about myself. That's all I was like about myself that I watch on screen. But my takeaways from Jack, man, he's. I think as we continue to explore him, hopefully, we get more seasons. We continue to explore him. I think we're going to find that, like I said, I think he's far more intelligent than Justin actually told me, because there was ways he could have gone with the script that where he becomes a Chris Pratt Parks and Rec kind of guy where he's just there and he's dumb. But we already had that space filled by Wesley.
Yes.
So he was like, no, I think Jack is smart, and I think that's what stands out about him. Yes, he's there by happenstance, but he actually is kind of one of those guys that underperformed his whole life, but he could have done better if he just worked a little harder or was given up more opportunities. So like I think that's what we're going to find out with Jack. Like, oh, Jack is actually, he's kind of smart, man, and yes, he might have bungled it a little bit with the locking paws, but it was still a good idea. It's just, who was to know that all that he was going to unravel a whole can of shit.
Yeah, honestly, Jack is a very, very easy character for me to root for because I jumped into an industry, media industry, now in the news industry as a photographer, as a cameraman, without having any real background to it, just very little of what I did. So I kind of feel like we're taking similar journeys, and so I really see a lot of myself in him.
Oh man, that's amazing. That's all I want to do is just connect, because everybody's going to connect with their own specific character on the show. You generally want people to like the show, but there's always going to be somebody who connects with someone more than the others. So I'm glad that you connect with mine.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people will, just because of the fact that you feel everyone should feel like they have the potential to be in any position, and a lot of times you can get up there and find out you might be the smartest guy in the room, but you have so much respect and admiration for them, these people with their fancy clothes and fancy titles, and I think Jack's a great catalyst for boosting people's self-esteem.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it, because I think a lot of people can be in these positions, and you find out the people that are making the decisions, they're like, they are not smarter than me. They just happen to have a better set of circumstances to put them here.
Yeah, absolutely. Tye, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. It's been great talking with you about your character and about American Auto, and just about yourself as well.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right. I look forward to seeing more of this, and hopefully we'll talk again.
Yes, hope so.
All right. Take care.